Rock Spring Elementary.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the Georgia flag and to the principles for which it stands, wisdom, justice, and moderation.
Good morning. Today is Tuesday, December 6th. Lunch for today, chicken nuggets or barbecue pork on a bun. Lunch for tomorrow, a corn dog or cheeseburger. Birthdays for today, Paige Leakla. Weather for today, high 63, low 60, rain showers.
Woot Woot Wagon recipients for November are Mrs. Sprayberry, Mrs. Higdon, Mrs. Hazelrig, Mrs. Bethune, Mrs. Winfro, Mrs. Shook, Mrs. Harris, Mrs. Lands, Mrs. Durham, Mrs. Grant, Mrs. Kistner, Mrs. Sanchez, Mrs. Kinsley, and Mrs. Jabley. And in December, recipients are Mrs. Whittle, Mrs. Henson, Miss Gibbs, Mrs. Dover, Mrs. Clark, Mrs. Grooms, Mrs. Redheffer, Mrs. Merciers, Mrs. Brockington, Miss Underwood, and Mrs. Allen.
Good morning, Rockets. I'm Miss Volpe, and I'm here to show you about our Santa shop, which starts on Monday. You guys will be able to shop Monday through Thursday next week. So we wanted to give you a little preview of how it's going to work. So each day, your teacher will either bring you or send you down to the Santa shop, and when you come in, you will see that our tables are laid out. So there's going to be items. Now, if you look at the item on the back or on the bottom, there's going to be a number, like that's number 2. And then we have a list here that shows the price. So a number 2 item is going to be 50 cents. So each item is labeled, and when you walk in, you're going to start with the least expensive item, and then we will work our way around. And as we walk around, the prices will get higher. We will have some volunteer elves in here to help you guys shop, and they'll help you bag up your items as well, and you can let them know who is going to. So if it's to mom, brother, sister, uncle, whoever, they will write that on the bag. So we're going to walk around and show you guys some of our items that are going to be available for purchase next week. And you can see here, some of the items say dad or grandpa. So those are great ideas about maybe who you want to purchase for. Today there is an envelope sent home, and you can bring that back on next week, any day next week, with your money, cash or check. Your parents can send in cash or check. Right, and once you get your items and your helper has helped you decide, then you're going to come over here and you're going to check out at the register. So there will be a volunteer here to help you. And then once you get your items paid for, then you're going to come to this round table, and we have bags depending on what size you need. But we will put your items in a bag, and we will write who it's to and from. So happy shopping, Rockets. I hope you enjoy our Santa shop this year.
Stay safe. O is for honoring behavior. A is to always work together. And R is for respect for all.
It is the mission for Walker County Schools and Rock Spring Elementary to ensure all students graduate ready for college, ready for work, ready for life. Rock Spring and beyond. Rockets, we soar. We are learning to soar, and we soar every day. So along with soaring, I want you to do a few things for me. Number 1, I want you to be kind. Be kind to everyone around you. Spread kindness like confetti. Remember, if you throw up confetti, it just goes everywhere. It's kind of like glitter. So please be kind to everyone. Spread kindness. Number 2, I want you to be respectful. That's part of our soaring anyway, but make sure you're respectful to yourself, to all your classmates, to your teacher, to your parents, to anyone out in the community. You should be respectful, and that's what we want for our Rockets, to be respectful. So that's number 2. Number 3 is to be helpful. We love our Rockets to be helpful. So if you see something that's out of place or something, pick it up. Be helpful. If you see a person that needs a friend, be helpful and be their friend. So just think of all kinds of ways that you can be helpful. And number 4 is to be positive. I want all of us to be positive this year. No complaining, just be positive. If you're positive, then that will have others be positive. I always tell my own kids, always let your light shine. And a part of that letting your light shine is being positive. So those are our 4 areas this year. Be kind, be respectful, be helpful, and be positive. Because we, above all, want to treat others the way that we want to be treated. And I know all our Rockets can do that, because by doing all of this, you will change your world and you will change our world. And I know in my heart of hearts that all of our Rockets can change the world. So you know what to do, Rockets. Now go be awesome.